This is the first time I'm buttoning my shirt that I can remember that I didn't look down. I looked at the camera. Well, maybe it's somewhat of a loss of words, but for a couple of days, I believe, I've been getting into getting into an argument with a leftist. And they're a social justice warrior. I'm going to assume that they believe in wokeism, even though they may not call it that. And nothing really is to be gained by this because I could say that we're both biased and we're both stuck on our opinions, and that's not necessarily going to change. Primarily, I get into these discussions just because, there is a thought of me that I can change and inquire about them. But at the end of the day, most people don't change through discussion, particularly if they are radicalized and they are involved in mass psychosis or mass hysteria. Just that's not going to happen. Um, I still struggle with my own being, my own self, um, struggle with my own accomplishments, and kind of want to focus on that and how to best do it, how to best overcompensate for my weaknesses, which there are quite a few. And you look at the woke, and they, like I said, they control. They may not have popular. Their opinions may not be popular, but they are powerful. And oftentimes, powerful people, regardless, are power. If an idea has power behind it, it may not necessarily mean it has to have popular support. It just has to have power. I was listening the other day, and someone said, how numerous is the Taliban? Do they have popular support? They certainly have power because they're just ruthless. And the same thing with a lot of leftists. They may not have popular support, but they have power. And they are good at invoking fear and all of the things that you can't say because they can deplatform you. They can hurt you economically and sometimes even physically. And this is the world we're living in today. And does it really bother me? Not really. Although when I was out and about a few days ago, someone called me a racist, and he feels that way. I asked him to prove it, didn't matter. It's his opinion, and he feels that he has the absolute right to curse at me and stigmatize me. And the truth is, the establishment emboldens this. What can we do? Darren, how are you? Darren, I want to invite Darren on the show. Me and him are both fasting. I lost a lot of weight, man. Down to about 123, 120. I mean, 223, 225. See, I do speak at times, but I wonder if Darren would want to come on. I'm just going to invite him on to the live stream and ask him how the diet is going, because that's our health is one of the most important things of our well-being, and you really don't need to eat that much. Eating a lot can be joyful, but it's very short-lived, and the long-term consequences of health are long-term. I actually get up at like 3 to 4 times a night and go to the bathroom. Really? Let me see. You know what? Let me go into Discord here. Let me see here. So much here. Here. I'm just. I'm talking. Let me see if I can. But these people change their names so many times. I try to get you in. What's your name on Discord, Darren? And I think Joey just left Discord too, and he took down the whole Discord page. Let's see. Here we go. Well, I'll put it in Discord. I don't know if you're there, but I'll put it in Discord if you want to come on board. And that's in Debbie Daly's Discord. Joe's Discord doesn't function anymore. I mean, it's just so awful. Oh, jeez. Discord. Anyway, I got Darren on. Darren, how are you? Long time no listen. How are you? How have you been? How's the diet going?
The diet is not going very well, but I've been getting a lot of exercise.
That's good. That's good. But yeah, I mean, we all struggle with food addiction, and I hear it's been very hot in Portland.
It's been beautiful. It's perfect.
Oh, you like it, huh? Okay. How are things going? How are things going there? Like as far as the atmosphere with people, and because we always hear in the news about Antifa and the rest. Is that
They moved the homeless camps, so that has worked out well for me personally, where I work in downtown Portland.
yeah?
They were circling the entire building and half of the parking structure. They all came from rural areas.
Were some of the homeless Antifa?
I don't think so. Just mostly drug addicts from all across the nation moving to Portland where drugs are legal.
Yeah. What can you do, man? I mean, really and truly. Yeah. I mean, and they're making life in that area not very nice, and they seem to embolden a lot of unhinged lunatics.
Yeah, yeah. I don't like focusing on all the negative anymore. I try not to, but it's there.
It is, and you're right. It's not a good idea to focus on the negative, and you got to focus on the real, and you also got to meet people who are not about that lifestyle and stuff. Although it seems like in Portland that most of the people support the Proud. I mean, they support Antifa. That if there was a vote in Portland, is Antifa good or bad? I think would it not get would Antifa not get majority support?
Black Lives Matter good, Antifa bad. Most people don't like Antifa.
Really? Because
'Cause
Antifa,
they destroy things. They'll join the Black Lives Matter march, and then they'll break all the windows, and then Black Lives Matter has a a bad reputation. I've never seen. That's not true. I've seen one time where a Black Lives Matter person broke a window, but besides that, it was mostly just the Antifa people.
yeah, but Black Lives Matter was slow to condemn Antifa, and the leadership did mention that they were trained Marxists, and you know I you know they have coordinated together and worked together, and there are also just regular thugs out there just wanting to destroy things and get things for free.
I guess, yeah.
You know, people will always use an excuse. Look, when I was a kid, I used to, and people will use an excuse to get angry or whatever and do things. I mean, I remember when I was infatuated with a girl, and I was made an excuse to be where she was, you know,
Yeah.
and people use excuses all the time to do things.
It's the
Yeah.
victim mentality.
It's the what, man? We say that again?
It's the victim mentality.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And you gotta the funny thing is what we hate about other people being victims, a lot of times is what we do that we don't like about ourselves. So you gotta stop yourself from doing it too.
You are right on
You
that. I
are
mean,
focusing on all the negative all the time. And it comes off kind of like a victim.
yeah, yeah, you're right. I mean, and if you think of our those who came before us, you know, the
I
people
mean,
who
what if you decided to search for only something super happy that you love? And every show was positive and about that thing. I mean, life pretty much is in our head, and what we think of things. So it's up to us, the life we want to live, because it's going to be in our head anyways. That's what I think.
yeah, I mean, and how about like when you get up in the when I get up in the morning, it takes me a while, but after the first dragging myself out of bed, I feel pretty good before I eat, and then when I eat, I feel horrible after I eat. That's probably the worst time of the day is after I eat. But
Mornings are
like when
hard
you
for me too.
like when you fast, don't you feel more alert and just sometimes better?
The second and third day, especially, and then the fourth day, I just get too damn hungry. But the
I'll
first
tell
day
you,
is so brutal. Like the end of like 24 hours in is so brutal. You're
not
just
yeah,
at the wall.
yeah. It's for whatever reason, and maybe it's because of my diabetes. It stops my hunger and the medication I take.
No, it does. Yeah, it goes away. Your hunger, you can just log the hours once you get like into a fast. You don't even think about food for a while
Yeah.
until it's serious hunger. And then like that last one I was on, I made it to that fourth day. All of a sudden, I couldn't get food out of my mind. It was just like, okay, I can't, I'm not functioning properly. I gotta eat now. I even texted you. Okay, I'm gonna eat tonight.
I'll tell you something though. It's easier for me to fast than it is for me to diet because once I start eating,
Well, just keep doing what you're doing, man. It's okay to fast. Have you ever watched the Snake Diet guy? That's what he does. He fasts for 2 days and then he eats right, and then he'll fast for 2 days. And if
Yeah.
it's working for you, there's nothing wrong with it.
Yeah.
It's not. It's not. It's what people have done for millennia.
Oh
We're
yeah.
gonna always have food. That's why it's built into our systems.
Yeah. But it's for me like eating the right things, like fasting, and then the dieting part though, like eating the right things. It's like, you know, sugar is addictive, and
Oh, all I think about is sugar. I'll go and open the fridge, and there'll be all this healthy food, salads, all this stuff, and all I'm thinking about is the Nutella and a piece of toast.
oh, come on. I mean, who doesn't want a cheeseburger?
Am I in the big boy club here?
You are,
Hey,
and you're not one of us though. You're not a big boy. You're kind of
no,
skinny.
I'm a medium boy.
you're
But
not fat.
we'll give you our fries because we don't want to eat that. We just
Right.
want.
I'll pick off of your plates. Hey, you using that pickle?
Yeah. But
You can have my tomato.
I mean, and Joe, you fasted before, and you know the benefits of fasting and like not eating and stuff, and it makes you so alert, and that's why people have been doing it through a millennia.
And
And
people, it's in the Bible, and a lot of people say that spiritually praying and fasting is good, and not just food fasting. Fasting from different things that you normally are stuck into a mode that you do every day. Fasting from social media, fasting from, watching television. Fasting from anything is good. It's good to mix it up. Anything you feel kind of consumes a lot of your life, try fasting over. That's what I think.
Yeah, oftentimes it's not referred to as fasting, but you're right. It's foregoing it. It's they often say like going on a trip and just putting away the device, but
Yeah.
it's very similar to a fast.
My vacation was so amazing.
Yeah, you take pretty good vacations.
One afternoon, I just gonna lay in bed for 3 hours. I was just listening to a book on tape, and it's just like looking out the window at the lake. It just propped up, just staring out the window. That was the best part of my whole vacation. Just that one afternoon where I didn't think of anything, nothing. I emptied my mind of all stupid things that I would worry about or stress about. It's a pretty good time. Brian,
now
you need to take a vacation.
I made well, it's really because I go to the bathroom like 4 to 5 times a day, but it's gotten difficult for me now. Joe has traveled to parts of the country that like I've only heard about in the movies, like Wyoming and places like that. He's traveled the wilderness, which his nickname, like our first thing was Jewish producer, and I don't know how many Jews have ever set foot in like Wyoming, but he's one of the few that have traveled there, and the pictures are beautiful. I mean, and the pictures that he took, it really feels refreshing. Going to those places feels like life giving, and you're not
So,
under, yeah.
Yeah,
so
and just
because you're
driving through places where there's more livestock than there are human livestock. Sorry, go ahead, Darren.
so because of your diabetes, you have to because you take that medicine. Like my friend, he has to go to the bathroom a lot. Why don't you get a camper with a commode that you can empty?
Yeah, I'm thinking about that. I mean, I'm thinking about a lot of options. My main thought right now, my main thing right now would be an accomplishment would be to reverse my diabetes. I'm 200 and fluctuate between 225 to 220.
Yeah,
And I would like to get down. My ultimate goal would be to get down to 195 pounds.
nice.
If
That's
I
my
can just
goal
lose
too.
that 90, if I can just lose 30 pounds.
There are times I'm kind of glad I'm big, but most of the time I wish I was fit and could hike mountains and stuff.
Can you still?
Can I what?
Can you still hike mountains and stuff or no?
Yeah, I can now.
How tall are you?
6 foot,
Okay.
but it takes me a long time. I can't cruise on up, you know. And if I lost at least 50, I'd be good. If I was
Yeah.
in the 225 range, when I climbed Mount St. Helens, I was 225. I made
Yeah.
it to the top.
It's always, and you know what? It's always it's a journey. It's a journey it's really a journey of struggling and of like of self discovery, of finding out, can I basically, you know, defeat my hunger? Can I control? How much can I control?
And when you're fasting, it feels like you can, because all of a sudden you don't have it where you feel like drugs are food, or food's drugs.
And,
Drugs.
I've said this before though. Once I get the taste in my mouth, like I
Yeah,
get food,
yeah.
all of a sudden
I, I have
I want good
cheeseburger.
stuff.
Yeah.
I want to scarf it down.
My problem is getting back on the fast after getting off the fast. I get off the fast and I eat too much sugar and crap, and then
Yeah,
I'm like addicted again. Now, I wonder if I got off the fast and I actually ate properly, not so much
yeah.
sugar and bread, then if
Well,
I could get back on it.
maybe do it for 2 days, and then like when you go back to eat, you have a smoothie or something. Like you
Yeah.
slowly, gradually, and you try to just like, hey, you say to yourself, I'm just going to have this amount, and I'm going to walk away, and then I'm going to fast, and then to mini fast, like after you're eating, step away from the table or step away from the food and say, I'm done. Cut this part in half and say, I'm done with this.
I
I'm not
I
going to continue.
I think the 4 days was too long. I was just seeing how far I could go. I think 2 full days and then the third day eating would probably be better for
Yeah,
me.
yeah.
Um, if
But
I
there are
if I
people. There are people who have fasted for 40. There's a person who fasted for a full year.
Yeah. Oh God, yeah. That guy, he was like 400 pounds. He
Yeah,
just stopped eating. He just had salt and waters, and he did it. I mean, that's what the body does. It uses your food. It uses your fat for food.
yeah,
You don't feel as good though. I tell you what, right now, because I was exercising my whole vacation and I've been like really swimming.
yeah,
Physically, even though I'm heavy, I feel freaking great. Like walking the dogs, just walk, 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 and I'm in it. Physically, I'm feeling pretty good. I just need to lose some of the weight. Now, every time I lose the weight, I don't feel as good. I get crampy. Like swimming, my muscles will hurt more.
yeah.
I'm in a deficit.
Sometimes it's a birthing and growing process. It's like you're being born again, and birth is painful. I mean, when an infant is born, cold air hits it. It's no longer in its comfort zone. It's out of the womb, and to a degree, losing weight can be like that. The body's adjusting, and it's painful.
That's a good analogy.
You know, so being reborn again, whether you're being reborn to a faith or a religion, there are painful points because, like a lot of, and I'm not one of them, but a lot of born again Christians, they face a lot of, because of the things they've done in the past, they have a lot of guilt. And that pain is kind of there. And sometimes they
You got it.
become, they
That's
use
the
that
key.
religion, like many times that they're former drug addicts, they'll use that religion like a drug.
Yeah, you gotta forgive yourself. That's key.
Yeah.
You can't live with any shame. Like once you freaking, I mean, it's like Catholics. They go to confession and then they're wiped clean. You gotta leave all that crap behind and not go through the list of all the horrible things you've done in life. I believe in the forgiveness of sins, and starting fresh. And you gotta just not, you gotta let all that stuff go and know that it's okay. We're human.
Yeah, we've all, I think most of us, if not all of us, have done things to ourselves and to others that we regret. And you know what, we have primal instincts, and it's just like, and before we weren't even honest. I mean, like, as far as myself, I mean, when I like this, when I like, when I used to have what I call, I guess, crushes or infatuations with certain women, I'd never admit to it, and I do it in secret. But it's like, by nature, you see something attractive, you want to breed with it.
Yeah.
Literally, you want to, that's something, like, but by nature, you want to breed with it. So you're gonna, like, try to see if you can weasel your way into it, and that's just the way it goes.
Yeah. That's the nature of being a man.
Yeah,
It seems like we have a lot of shame when it comes to sexuality, and
yeah.
especially if you're raised Catholic or something.
Well, I mean, human being, and to a degree, in a modern society, maybe there's a need. There was a reason to, because basically parenthood, was a lot of responsibility, and sex. The after effects of sex carry with it,
Huge lot of consequences.
yeah, carry with it a heavy burden and heavy responsibility. So, and an attractive woman, a lot of people want to, they want to mate with. So you're under a lot of competition, and it's a difficulty thing. I mean, I think there's this, there's a gay pride moment, and the problems of what gays face are the problems what women face, but heterosexual males face unique problems. Not even proud about it. It's just,
Well, I think it's a lot of shame
yeah,
when it comes to sexuality, and you have to know what you are, and you have to accept who you are and our shortcomings. So and you got
absolutely.
to forgive yourself.
You got to forgive yourself, and you got to be real with yourself too.
Yes.
We all have the need, to breed, and I mean, most of us, most people are heterosexual. And I can only speak for a male. I mean, we have the need to breed with that which is attractive, and a lot of times, it's not, it's unrequited infatuation or unrequited love. Or mainly, it's unrequited infatuation. We see something that's attractive, and they don't find that with us.
It's like eating sugar. The
Yeah,
same thing.
sugar feels good when you first bite into it. Sugar feels great.
And then until you become addicted
Yeah.
and diabetic,
Hey, I
until
mean,
you have 10 children that you have
yeah,
to care for.
yeah, that's true too. I mean, there are no, I mean, there are a lot of times there are no solutions. There are only trade-offs, and the pain of hunger is worth my health. And if I can endure it, like I'm lifting weights, like when you're lifting weights, it's painful.
Yes. Well,
But
especially if you're fasting and you're not eating enough.
but your muscles grow, and not only do you look better when you grow your muscles, but you feel better too, because you use muscles for everything.
It doesn't take that long either. When I was working last summer I was working with the hydraulics and all the big, huge, heavy tubes, 80-pound tubes. Well, the first day I was there, I moved this tube and I couldn't get it, and I had another guy help me. Jesus, it's heavy. And then by the time I left there, it was like 2 months later. I picked that baby up by myself like it was so light. It was awesome. It was just 2 months of lifting.
Yeah,
It
man. Oh
doesn't
yeah.
take long. I picked that thing up like it was nothing.
You know
And
what?
man, this was so heavy before.
I'll tell you something. The happiest people that I ever knew
Lifted weights.
lifted weight. No, well, actually, they were and most of them were Latino, but they were the construction workers that worked out there and worked like sometimes 12, 13, 14-hour days. But you feel like when you do work like that, you really feel like you've accomplished something.
Yeah.
And like that's the happiest I've ever been. I was down on my luck. It was the most depressing, and then I was like, God, I got to do this. And it was like cleaning up. I was in the cleanup crew, and it was moving sometimes heavy, heavy boards, heavy this, heavy that, and it was like, this had to be done before the construction crew got there, and it was like, and then I'd be around them as well, and it was like I never felt more alive than doing that type of work, you know.
Yeah,
And
that's the thing. It's hard to push yourself. It's really hard for me to push myself, just by
yeah,
myself. If it's a job or if I have a workout partner that pushes you and holds you
uh,
accountable, it's hard to go
well,
on your own and push yourself.
and if you think about it, the generation before us were pushed by circumstances. Like our grandparents grew up in the Depression, and our most of our parents grew up far poorer and had to do things that we would never like never dream of doing. You
Oh,
know?
we used to just look for work that
Oh yeah.
any high paying job, you'd take whatever you could get. If it's a higher paying job, even if it's harder, you'd take it because you wanted to make more money because
You know, my father did migrant work
yeah.
in, in the early 1960s, uh, and yeah, I mean it was all kinds of Americans that did jobs that like that they say Americans won't do, but they did them, and they like it was and I remember a time when teenagers you used like when you turned a certain age, you were like, hey, why don't you get a job, a summer job or a
Picking
job.
strawberries in the field. We
Yeah,
used to 75 cents per flat. It's like, geez,
yeah.
it's hard work.
Yeah. But what I think it built your character, and it's like what built, like it usually builds a country like, hey, and there was no complaint, and there was no complaining about it. People like, they just did what they had to do and they didn't complain. And now we got a bunch of complainers and whiners, and I'm one of them. Big complainer and whiner myself. What a baby I am.
Me
So
too. I've never worked that hard in my whole life, really. I mean, I've avoided it.
I've done like about this. I've done about like this much, you
I,
know.
I did for like 2 years, and I said I'm never doing that again. I was working every day, like 14-hour days, building in the construction industry, and I was just like, I had a vacation plan. I had to cancel it because this job was behind schedule and I needed to get it out the door. And I just told myself right then and there, never again. I'm going to work when I want to work, and I'm
Yeah.
not going to do this anymore.
Now, how did you feel back then when you were, was it draining you, or did you feel like kind of alive to a degree?
Just like you said, it was good at the end of the day, but all I did was go home, eat, and sleep. All I can look forward to was sleeping. And I only did that for a couple of years. I mean, there's people that do it for 40 years. I felt like I was in prison, really, to be perfectly honest, just because there weren't enough days off.
Yeah. No, you're right on that. I mean, sometimes, and the thing is, um, I'm a person today. I'll like for a long time, man. I worked holidays. I worked Christmas, New Year's, all that
Yeah.
stuff because you know what I realized because my mom worked holidays too. It's like there are people at hospitals and police officers and firemen. They work holidays.
I
And
like
these
for
people
holidays
who
too.
complain about police brutality and this and that, one of the things I almost want to ask them is, do you work holidays or do you go home with your family? Because how much sacrificing do you make? What's the hardest you've ever worked?
In my industry, it's always super, super busy on the holidays, so I always have to work.
Hey, man, but
But
like,
people are happy and the money's good those days, so that's good usually.
yeah, yeah. And like I said, we may be facing hard times, but we've been through hard times before.
It's all in our head, man. You could have buildings falling around you and you could still be happy if you chose to. You
Yeah,
really can. It's what you focus on. If you do a bunch of internet searches and things that you know take you off, and then you do a show about it, and it's always about whatever rabbit hole you choose to go down, you could choose a happy rabbit hole. You could be, learning all sorts of stuff about something just wonderful that excites you. And for losing weight, staying positive and focusing on the good things only help you.
Yeah.
You're
Yeah.
feeling good about yourself. You should feel good about yourself. You lost a lot of weight.
Yes, I have. Yes, I
You're doing a
have.
good job. You're doing a really good job, and keep it up, man. Maybe you won't have diabetes soon.
I think I'll focus more on my weight loss and how it makes me feel. And with that being said, Darren, it was great having you there. I guess Joe had maybe a few technical difficulties, but I think I'm going to focus on getting my job done and my weight loss journey. So
I think you should do a show of something you're passionate about that's positive. Just one show. Movies again. That would work.
what's that?
Do movies again. Talk about
Oh yeah,
movies.
I might do. I might do stuff on. You know what? I might do a movie show. Anyway, that is a good topic. Anyway, Darren, it was great. Great show. I had fun.
You inspired me. I'm gonna try to lose some weight here this week.
I think you should try to lose some weight. Fast a little bit and exercise moderation, man. Try to just step away from it as best you can.
Yeah, I'll try to mix it up. I'm gonna do a little more lifting, I think.
I think that would be great. I think that'll help you. Anyway, hey guys, this is the end of the show. Like, subscribe, leave a comment down below, and visit our website at transparencyandmerit.com. Thank you for listening.